Okay, so we'll do now the true and false questions of Chapter 2. The Rico Board of Directors is directly responsible for the day-to-day management of the council and its employees. How's that sound? Sorry?
True.
No, not true. I'll tell you why. The reason why it's not true is because anything that's responsible for the day-to-day operation of the management of Rico is done by the president and CEO. The board of directors look at overall policies, and the board of directors have their occasional meeting with the president and CEO. Okay? So all the day-to-day operation of Rico, completely done by the president and CEO. Okay?
Okay.
Bankruptcy details must be disclosed by an applicant seeking registration or a registrant seeking renewal of registration.
True.
Absolutely true.
As well as criminal record information.
Yes. And you gotta, if you have a bankruptcy, as we remember in the lessons we did before, you have to disclose it in 5 days that you filed for it, and you got to provide a list of the creditors and the reason why you have those creditors in place and what caused you not to pay them. Okay. Number 3 is the Rico recommendation. Sorry, the Rico Credit Recommendation and Advisory Committee is authorized by the registrar to make decisions regarding exemptions and credits relating to the real estate salespersons and brokers.
True.
No, that's false, and I'll tell you why. It's false because the answer is actually in the question. The Rico Credit Recommendation and Advisory Committee is only there to give advice. It's right in the second part of their name. Advisory Committee, they got no authority to do any decision making except for provide advice to Rico. So the registrar is the one who actually makes the decision. So if I'm going to be the registrar of Rico and I want to exempt you on certain credits for courses you did before, or you just did real estate for 25 years, and I want to say go ahead and just do phase 2 directly, I can make that decision as registrar. Okay? But the advisory committee cannot do anything like that. All right?
Got it.
Let's look at number 4. No person can trade in real estate in Ontario unless registered underneath the Real Estate and Business Brokers Act of 2002.
True.
There's one exception, remember. So it would be false because there's a few people that are exempted from this rule. The first person is a person who's connected to the Securities Act.
Okay.
So a Securities Act is selling, like, say, syndicate mortgages in real estate. He's selling some kind of share ownership that through a Securities Act license he can actually do that. So it's for one particular project. He can't go around selling houses. Okay. And also it'll apply to somebody who's maybe an auctioneer. So you're an auctioneer, you auction off a house. You don't have to be a real estate agent for that.
Okay.
But you just sold a house, right, in the auction?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's an exemption.
But then I guess someone else would finalize that sale, like an actual real estate agent.
The lawyer would have to still finalize the sale, but technically the auctioneer sold the house.
Okay.
To somebody who's, right, to a customer. So number 5, applicants must complete continuing education requirements prior to applying for salesperson registration.
False.
Yep, that's false. And it's good you caught it. This is a trick question. It's saying that you need to do the CE courses before, the continuing education courses before you apply for the registration. That's false because you got to do it 2 years later. So when you finish phase 3, you're going to do 2 years of articling courses, and then you do the continuing education courses 2 years after that.
Yes.
Number 6, every broker and salesperson registrant must take the mandatory 6 credit Rico update course in each registration cycle.
I think that would probably be true.
That is true. So every 2 years after your articling period, you're going to do a Rico mandatory update course of 6 credits no matter what happens. You got to do it.
Yeah.
Okay? Number 7, when a salesperson or broker registrant changes his or her address, proper written notice must be provided to Rico within 5 days of that event. Is that true or false?
I don't know, but I would say maybe true. I don't know.
It is true. It actually follows the same suit of the bankruptcy. So if you have a bankruptcy, you got to let them know in writing in 5 days. If you change your address as a registrant, as a real estate agent, you've got to let them know in written in 5 days as well. Same scenario. So you can remember it a little bit easier because they go together.
Okay.
They're the same time frame exactly. And everything's done in writing. Okay?
Yeah.
Number 8, a salesperson is not required to carry his or her certificate of registration, but must have it available at his or her employing brokerage to show to any person upon request.
That's false.
That's completely false. You got to carry your Rico registration with you at all times. It's like a driver's license, and it should be in your wallet with you, on you, all the time, no matter what. Number 9, all examinations for pre-registration or articling in broker segments are 3 hours in length, and final mark of 60% must be achieved to successfully complete each course.
I don't know. I don't remember this information.
So that would be false. You need 75% to pass each course.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
And what about this 3 hours length? Is that relevant information?
Yeah, it can be 3 hours of length. It's not really relevant. That depends when you finish. You'll have up to 3 hours to write the exam, but you need to pass 75%. Number 10, the 3 coverages under Rico insurance program are errors and omissions, commission protection, and general liability.
The first 2 are correct. The third one, I don't remember if that is the third one or not.
So if you don't remember it, what do you think? It's probably not there, right?
General liability, I would say probably. It sounds about right.
Well, we have errors and omissions for sure.
Yeah.
Commission protection, we need it because we're agents.
I remember.
And what we're missing is a consumer's deposit now. So errors and omission is the general liability sense of the insurance, because we don't have a general liability per se. We have errors and omissions. There's got to be an error or an omission for it to happen. Like with a car insurance, we would need to have a car accident, right, for it to kick in. Same kind of idea. So Rico is the same. The insurance program is similar because you need to have some kind of error or omission to occur before they can issue anything. There's no general liability here in this case. Okay? So it's consumer deposit, commission protection, and errors and omissions are the 3 things. So this one's false. So let's go to number 11. Insurance policy coverages made on a claims made basis, which requires any claim made against the registrant to be reported to the insurer during the policy period.
True.
Yeah, absolutely. So you gotta report the claim when it's happening. And interesting enough, you actually also have to report if there's a potential claim coming up.
Yes, that's right.
So if you got a phone call and it didn't sound too nice and they were threatening you, you better call the insurance and let them know something might come up. Okay?
Yeah.
Number 12, the RCI process, which is the Registrar's Complaints Inquiries process. The RCI process is primarily designed to handle complaints and concerns regarding registrant conduct from the public and from other registrants.
True. I don't know.
That's true, yeah. Absolutely true. Now, under REBA 2002, the registrar is required to make certain information about registrants available to the public, including registration status and current expiry date of registration. Is that true or false?
True.
Yeah, that's true. They do have to do that, and it's on their website. So you go to rico.on.ca and you punch in a realtor's name. You'll see if this license is active, and you'll also see if there's any pending discipline activities going on.
What does RCI stand for in question 12?
RCI is Registrar's Complaints Inquiries Process. So that's basically where you're sending in your complaint, and then it's going to get reviewed, and then the registrar is going to decide whether it needs to go to the discipline committee or is it just getting off on a warning.
Yep.
One of those 2 will happen.
Okay.
Number 14, Rico inspectors have the right to access all documents, records, money, and other valuables in a real estate brokerage under the Real Estate Business Brokers Act 2002.
That's true.
That's true. Should be done in reasonable hours. That's kind of important. Other than that, all of those questions and answers are good with you. Are you clear on them?
Yes.
Okay, great.